Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, there's my son.
Hey, Dad.
What's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Well, it's just sort of.
Hello, Dad.
Susan? Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and maybe see some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Can you tell if these vegetables are being contaminated with bacteria that could cause paralysis? Listen, you can't see it either. Use different cutting boards so that the bacteria in raw meats and seafood and their juices doesn't touch prep surfaces for other foods like veggies. Raw food may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Make sure your child is up with the alarm and ready for school each morning, because missing just 18 days, even in middle school, will put their graduation at risk. It's up to you. Learn more at boostup.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Enough is enough! I have had it!
Why so serious?
And we hold the world ransom for
Wayne Gandy.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Show me the
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Supersonic. Supersonic.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy Massengill. Man, we gotta get a little more raw than that, man. I want you to play songs that the bad producer has banned you from playing. I mean, the good producer. I will take the blame. I don't care about that good old boy. It's over. When you agree, Big Kenny?
Somebody say, hey, we want to...
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
What I'm talking about.
When the sports jock signs off on more Raw, this is like Bountygate. The head dude has unleashed the beast and said, start lopping off some heads. You know I am the king of right up to the line, but never over it. Hey, I'm taking the parachute off now. I'm going wingsuit. I'm going wingsuit. We just straight off the edge of the cliff.
Last week, Major League Baseball making an impactful decision. Also, the 2014 Hall of Fame class was announced, and we want to talk about some of the moves in Major League Baseball, which seems funny that spring training is once again right around the corner. Another 5 weeks or so, the pitchers and catchers will be reporting. So one person that won't be reporting, or maybe, you know, because he's just a hole, is A-Rod, who has been suspended for 2014 by Major League Baseball. For you that don't know, last year A-Rod was suspended for 211 games around mid-season, which would have carried him for half of the season and this full season. He fought the case, saying that it wasn't me. I don't care how many people saw me get the needle. It wasn't me. It was my twin brother, Chico. But Major League Baseball did not buy it. They have suspended him for 2014, which could cost him up to $25 million. He still will come back and have 3 years left on his contract. That would pay him out $60 million. It'll be interesting what the Yankees do about that. But I'll let my man, Dodgers, what's that, Big Kenny?
When reached for comment, his twin brother Chico said, see?
See, I have the major issues with this. Major issues
But we want to get our man, L.A. Dodger scout and East
They
West.
asked me, I said, see, I think you need us.
East Cobb baseball coach, Mr. Todd Harris, who I just was informed his first girlfriend name was Nene. Todd, is that true?
Hey, I hate to admit that, but I think bad producer kind of know that from back in the day. So I can imagine that dance being the way it is now.
Todd like a ratchet.
He like a ratchet.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with a little ratchet.
Him and Juicy J, they like that ratchet.
I can't say no.
Hey, let the spirit use you.
But Todd, New York, the Yankees. Let's talk first about A-Rod. Is this surprising? Is this outcome surprising that they suspended him for the whole season?
No, I definitely don't think it's surprising. I think they just wanted to come to some even ground as far as, you know what I mean, to say the 211 games was pretty excessive. But in my opinion, I think he should have got banned from baseball for life. I mean, I think you kind of banned Pete Rose for betting in that situation, and he still has not been able to get it back in the Major League. So obviously what Alex Rodriguez has done and actually what he's done to baseball, I think he should have been banned for life. But this 2014 season, obviously he's now suspended for it. It got reduced from, like you said, 211 games to 162, including the playoffs. He said he's going to go to spring training, but I guarantee you he's not going to be in the Yankee spring training as far as in Tampa, anywhere near Tampa in that particular stadium as far as their spring training stadium. So yeah, I can best believe that. Now Chico may come, but A-Rod ain't gonna be there.
See.
And Todd, if he shows up or takes this any further, it just kind of validates what people have already thought about him. Because why would you want to go to spring training and cause that kind of distraction?
And to be honest, I think if he would have just took like a deal like Ryan Braun did, took about 66 games, which would have been that season, I think they probably would have let him off and probably let him come back halfway through this 2014 season. But again, I just didn't understand that. The information with Bosh has kind of been, kind of laying out the groundwork for how it kind of went down as far as the secret text and some of the other stuff, getting paid $12,000 a month, and being descriptive of how to take these particular things, and even saying, look, I injected this dude. So, I mean, it just can't be that much more information. And those other guys had the same information against them, but what they did is took the smart route out of it and said, hey, I'm not fighting this stuff. Give me my 66 games or after this season and I'll be done. But he didn't do that. I mean, he could have got probably a max of 100 games, I felt, at that time, which would have been half of last year and half of this year, and he'd been able to still play. But I think it's just the arrogance of him just to try to push the envelope in this situation, and obviously wasn't going to kind of come out good for him anyway.
And the Biogenesis founder last night on 60 Minutes not only is basically saying, I know he did it, but I shot him up personally. Like, that's real incriminating. He's not saying I just gave him the drug. I gave him the drug. Like, so it's very hard for me to understand why, if any of this is true, he just doesn't do like you say, take the 6 months. Especially, he should have just set out last year anyway.
Well, not only that, but then you have the fact that, they had text message records that included over 5,000 text messages, and MLB confirmed that the PIN number was Alex Rodriguez's cell phone. But the only problem is this Biogenesis guy, he's a criminal. He's been, convicted, and so it's the word of a criminal, and a lot of people have a problem with that. And
let me tell you what I have a problem with the Biogenesis guy. Whistleblowing is alerting someone to the fact that there is some wrongdoing going on, but snitching is getting caught committing a crime and now trying to deflect blame from yourself and ease the penalty that you're going to face. If this Biogenesis guy didn't come out in the beginning, he should just play the back and stop trying to get his book deal or whatever he's trying to get out of this. But, Todd, one thing I want to ask you is this, and maybe you can't answer this question, but what's the difference between an A-Rod and a Pete Rose? Pete Rose damaged the whole sport of baseball by betting, A-Rod has decimated what people believe this game to be completely. And they still are only going to suspend him. How doesn't he get, like, just not wiped out of the baseball history completely?
And I guess that's the point that I kind of keep going back and forth on. I mean, I think it was a stern stance on Pete Rose. I absolutely think it was a stern stance on him. And obviously their point got taken very seriously because you ain't heard anybody betting on baseball. That's one thing you have not heard since that happened. So if you ban somebody from baseball, guess what? I think that will eliminate a lot of those issues that kind of pop, that it's going to continue to pop up each and every year because, as he said, they still hadn't tested him positive for drugs. So obviously the system can be beaten. So I guess that's my thing. If you ban somebody for life, I think you're going to scare them away from that in trying to do those particular things to kind of enhance their game.
Well, somebody I know, the Yankees wish they would ban him because I know they don't want to pay that last $60 million. And I think they actually have a case that if you're doing something that Major League Baseball steps in and can suspend you for a full season, I feel like that voids your contract. And I'm a former player. I think that some things, like y'all are saying, they should be allowed to pass this man away. For where, you know, and to be still on the hook for something like that, because bringing him back is only going to make everything around them look like a media circus from this point on.
I mean, that's like working for NASA and then come to find out you know nothing about aeronautics. Right. You know, okay, man, look. I mean, we shouldn't have to pay you. All of this was based on a lie. Right. I mean, you know, you violated the rules. They shouldn't have, especially to the tune of some, $60 million?
Yeah, so but the thing is it was reduced from over 100. And so do you think that they're going to buy that out once he comes back? Do you think that, because I know they can afford the 60, I don't know if they would have done the 100, but do you think they're going to buy him out?
I think that number, I think the 60 number is always going to be negotiable, which I think that number eventually is going to kind of come down, but I just don't see him obviously suiting up again for the Yankees, and there's no way I would be trying to pay all of that money. So, you know, the legal system and some other things eventually going to come out as well about some things he probably lied to the Yankees about, which they're going to probably get him on the hook for and not being able to pay that. But don't get me wrong, I like the Players Union and what it does for athletes. I mean, it gives the athletes, you know what I mean, certain rights and privileges, but I believe in this situation it's been went beyond, you know what I mean, reconcilable differences as far as him, you know what I mean, being in good faith in what he's trying to accomplish. I mean, I don't think they should be on the hook for that $6 million.
Todd, I have one more question for you. Can you give your opinion on, do you think that if the Yankees did release him, would another team pick him up?
Would another team pick him up?
Yeah.
No.
Will they take that risk?
I just think his production hasn't equaled the amount of money that he's demanding and he would demand. And plus, like Wayne said, I think it's just a media circus that's going to be around him. And you don't want, the one thing you don't want in your clubhouse is a distraction. It's already hard to play a game.
Todd, do me a favor. Hold on for 1 minute. We're going to go to break, come right back, and I'll get you off real quick. Just finish up with Marky's question and talk about the Hall of Fame real quick. 888-926-756. Todd Harris, L.A. Dodger Scott. We'll be back with more of the Sports Jock Show after this.
Hey, watch and listen to the Sports JOC Show on ArmadaFM.com and PSN247.com, homie. And as always at the SportsJOC.com. Yay, yay!
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Sassy
Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick. That's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy, the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. The traditional light bulb, a groundbreaking invention in 1879. It's time we switch to longer-lasting Energy Star light bulbs. They're more efficient than the old bulbs, like a text message is more efficient than a carrier pigeon. And they cut down on our energy costs. Because in our own groundbreaking age, we deserve a light bulb that saves us some cash. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
So horny. Me so horny. Me love you long time.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy. As we went to break, we were talking to L.A. Dodger scout, Mr. Todd Harris. I know Todd has to go. Nene has to get to the weave shop. But Todd, before I let you drive her down there and get that 12-inch extension to her hair, tell me about, let's finish up with Marky's question about the Yankees.
Yeah.
And...
You know, because there were a few people that I've heard speculating that, you know, if he were to get released from that contract, that they would pick him up. One of those was Tampa Bay. And so I didn't know if, you know, you thought that would even be a possibility or if that was just, you know, something that was kind of ridiculous.
I think that's ridiculous. I think that's just people trying to spin it to where, I mean, people can spin things in the media and get their people kind of looked at in the positive light, but there's no way he's playing for another organization unless he's playing for an independent league or something like that. But there's no way he's playing for another major league team.
Speaking of Hall of Famers right here, we want to jump on the Hall of Fame 2014 class. Glavine, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, Frank Thomas being the big names going in as players. Bobby Cox, Joe Torre, and Tony La Russa going in as managers. The numbers of Maddux and Glavine speak for themselves. We all know the Big Hurt, two-time MVP with the White Sox, Chicago White Sox. Dan Libertard of ESPN has been suspended. His vote has been suspended for a year, basically because he feels like the voting situation is hypocritical of the steroid era, keeping out big names like Clemens, Bonds. Where's your stand on this Hall of Fame class and the people that are being kept out, Todd?
To be honest, I actually do admire what he actually done, Dan Le Batard, as far as that, because I think baseball people should be voting on baseball situation. Now, I respect what writers do in their profession, but I think when it comes down to when you've not really played the game and you've not played it at a high level, I don't think you can really appreciate what some guys do on a day-to-day basis. And to me, I think guys like Bonds Bonds McGuire, and some of those guys should get in. I'm just going to be totally honest. I think an asterisk should be put by their name, but I think Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before the all-steroids issue kind of got going as far as intently as it has been over the last 10 years or so. But I think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. That's just my stance on it. I think he's probably one of the best baseball players that I've ever seen in my generation. I just don't think he's a kind of guy that would bring as much fear to at the plate than he did in his particular time. So I just think he should be in the Hall of Fame, and if you want to put an asterisk by it, I mean, you can. I was at a clinic in Dallas, Texas last weekend, and Tony La Russa spoke at it. And, I mean, he's one of the best baseball managers, I think, in baseball. And he put it simple that he felt like those guys should get in. He said he did feel like they should have an asterisk by their names, but he said these are the best baseball players that I've ever seen. And this man, I feel like, is one of the best baseball managers ever. And if he's going to go on record to say that, and he said a lot of people don't agree with what he says, in which I kind of agree with him in that stance. Those guys are I mean, top flight guys, and him and Roger Clemens were dominating the sport before the steroid era, I think, began. So
yeah, I'm with you on that, Todd, from the stance of Roger Clemens in a Boston Red Sox uniform was amazing. I mean, this is the mid '80s. Where he probably was only on cocaine at that time, but that fastball and that curve that he was throwing down there.
Don't knock what works.
So these guys, Barry Bonds in a Pittsburgh Pirates uniform was a Hall of Famer, and if I remember correctly, out of the half of his MVPs was then. So the numbers speak for themselves, and it seems like even when you see that Glavine and Maddox got out, and got in, and not saying they didn't deserve it, but their likability garnered them, 95% of the votes. Yeah. You know, they were like the second and third highest or something like that of ever percentages, and a lot of that was that who couldn't like Greg Maddux? He looked like the guy that, you know, you go over to his house and he's barbecuing, and you know, if you're out of toilet paper, he'll run down there and get you a couple of rolls. He was just that kind of likable guy.
You're a vegetarian? Yeah. Let's get some vegetables on the grill.
Yeah, he just looked like
corn.
I don't ever think I've ever heard Greg Maddux speak. I mean, he was just that kind of humble, quiet. I just came here to pitch, and I'm going to go home. So it's easy to like a guy like that. The Roger Clemens and the Barry Bonds and those guys, the Curt Schillings, they had something to say. You know, if a reporter said anything. So I'm like you. I don't think the voters should be reporters. You don't know, because half of them would have done steroids.
Yeah, you report on the game. I mean, I think guys that play baseball can actually speak on and vote on how the game was played and how those particular individuals done. I'm going to just give you a scenario. Game 7 of a World Series, you take Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine in their prime, and then you take Roger Clemens. Game 7, who are you going to put on the mound?
I'm going with Clemens.
That's my point. So, and when you can kind of answer questions like that.
28-year-old Clemens is all day. I'm going with him all day.
I mean, he's dominated in big games, point blank. And so that's how I see it, and that's how I dictate on whether those guys should be Hall of Famers. And don't get me wrong, the last guy, as far as the Hall of Fame, Frank Thomas, I just appreciated his baseball game in general. Lifetime batting average over 300. I mean, you just appreciate what he brought to the table day in and day out. I mean, he's the kind of guy that didn't mean he's a big dude, but he didn't really swing for the fences a ton of times that he come up to plate. He was a polished hitter, and that's one thing that I've always really appreciated about Frank Thomas, that he would take walks. I mean, he wouldn't really go out of the zone to chase balls that he really knew he couldn't do damage on, and I just thought he was a professional hitter and just a class guy, and I've just always enjoyed his game, and just, you know what I mean, just seeing how he approaches the at-bats and just certain things like that. And I think he's really underappreciated as far as in this Hall of Fame class that's going in this year.
Well, Todd, I appreciate you holding the line, and I'm going to let you go because I know Nene probably blowing the horn. outside.
You need to come on while you on your little sports show.
But we appreciate you calling in, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you later, Big Wayne.
Todd Harris, East Cobb baseball coach and L.A. Dodger scout, and he really is an L.A. Dodger scout. I don't just say that. I've gone to the game with him and sat in the scouting department of the Dodgers. Free ticket, so, I had on Dodger blue.
When speaking of the voting of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, it amazed me. I found out just this past weekend, I did not know, that the voting body doesn't even have to cover sports.
They're over
They don't have to cover baseball. They don't have to cover sports. There is one voter who was just a writer for a newspaper, and I think he covered something like movies or something.
Right.
And they let him vote on who goes into the Baseball Hall of Fame, not who gets a chance to be voted on to go to the All-Star game or something less impactful. This is to the
last stop.
The last stop.
And now they've got over 600 voters. Right. So talk about an antiquated system where, not only do you have people who aren't knowledgeable on the subject matter, but then you have people who, there's 600 people.
And some of these people are voting based on what their friends and family are saying.
And
you shouldn't vote for him.
The thing, too, is it's just not
team
baseball.
Loyalty. Yeah.
It's football and basketball, and this is one thing that you hear a lot of Hall of Famers, even talking to Jerome yesterday, who's up for the Hall of Fame for the NFL. He can't believe that Charles Haley, neither one of us can believe that Charles Haley is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He got 5 Super Bowl rings and made offensive linemen like me stay up at night. Mm-hmm. Like, man, I got to play Charles this week. I need to get some rest.
Yeah.
I'm going to be good. So he's still not in because he had a bad attitude. But real quickly before we go to break, I got something I want y'all to vote on. I'll let it speak for us. Look at this mess right here.
All right, kids, what are you going to do here today?
Well, I'm going to use this baseball bat to hit a baseball that is tied to my sister's tooth.
And what's the tooth going to do?
What?
It's going to fly out of her mouth.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
You want to do this?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right.
For you that are not watching on the Sports Jock page, the video, a young kid and his sister. His sister needs teeth pulled, and he's a baseball player. The dad, I guess maybe that's the dad. I'm hoping that's the dad, is tying rope to her tooth, and the big brother is going to swing at a ball and pull her tooth out. Yeah. Where is the tooth fairy today?
It's right here. It's right here. Where'd it go?
And
where is
what is really going on?
Tooth fairy.
Pull the tooth out.
What do you mean the tooth fairy? Where is DFAC?
Seriously.
Why don't somebody sterilize these parents? What the hell is going on?
This is the dumbing down of America. This is idiocracy.
The little girl gives her brother a big hug for his effort.
The bad producer's acting like this is not a crime. Are you kidding me?
Let me tell you something.
This is
the problem.
Hold on, we're going to go to break and come back. 888-926-7562. We'll be right back with more of the Sports Jock Show.
Hey, don't miss the show in 2014. Get the Sports Jock wake-up call at 9 a.m. Sign up at thesportsjoc.com.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a pep talk that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You can improve your future. Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and for free classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It's time for the scoreboard, where we put a spin on life and sports and how they intermingle. On the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
If you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. You say it. You ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. I said it.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. 888-926-7562. As we went to break real quick, we had this baseball player, little young youth kid, pulling his sisters. We were hoping this is a family and not just some coach trying to get his Twitter followers up. The dad ties a rope or a string to the girl's tooth. The boy swings the bat. Tooth comes out. The tooth looked like it could have just been plucked out anyway. But interesting what people find that they need to post and show people. Big Kenny, when we went to break, you wanted to call DFAX. Mark, you wanted to call FBI. Bad Producer is from
He's applauding
West Virginia, so this is typical of them.
Backwoods. Homegrown.
But it came out quickly. It doesn't seem like she's in too much pain.
But my problem is not what happened. My problem is the fact that so many things could have gone wrong that it's just, why would you even do that?
My problem is that with the advent of things like social media, and I don't mean to totally knock media and social media because I benefit greatly from these things. It's just that with the advent of these things, so many people are willing to whore themselves out for some attention.
Yes.
And then it becomes whatever's popular, let's whore that out. So videos about children are popular. Let's put our kids in a video. Now, you can't tell me it was these kids' idea.
Yeah.
To pull this was something that the adults came up with and thought, this will increase my following. I don't know what you're doing as a dad that you would want to use your children to increase your Twitter followers or to get a lot of likes on your YouTube video. It just bothers me. So many people have aspirations to do something other than what they're doing, but they don't make the effort to put themselves out there, so you just going to use your kids.
Right.
I mean, now, she could have got hit in the face with the ball, with the bat. I mean, God forbid the germs that are on his hand and now in her mouth. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. What are you doing? Why don't you tell your wife to take her top off?
And put that on and post that?
And post that.
It just seems to be
Good
the one-up.
point.
It's like, this is the age of the one-up. It's like, oh, well, you know, my friend did this with his kids, so now I'm going to do this.
Right.
He was playing fetch in the yard, and, you know, he hit his kid in the face with the baseball. It was an accident, but he got it on film. Now let me do something that's not on accident.
Well, I'm glad I could bring something that really got y'all temperatures boiling.
Yeah.
In the new year, because I can look at you
and as a parent, it really just
Right.
bothers me because so many people are throwing their kids out there to be victimized.
Yeah.
Just to
So
get
what we
themselves
need
on
to do
TV.
is we need to find the dad and do one of those. What's
Throat
the new
punch.
thing?
I would like the throat
punch him in the chest.
Punch run. What's the new game?
Oh,
Knockout
yeah,
game.
knockout How about we do
Just
that?
do
I'll
that.
hold him. You guys punch him.
We're going to start calling it the Nay-Nay punch because I'm going to punch you just as I'm going to punch him like he was doing the Nay-Nay.
You're going to envision him doing the nay-nay and punch.
And just punch
Real quickly, just to finish up our NFL that we were talking about earlier, Lovie Smith is the head coach in Tampa Bay. Running back Brandon Jacobs, since we've been gone, has retired after 9 years, mainly with the Giants. Chicago's quarterback Jay Cutler got a 7-year deal. Jay Gruden, the brother of John Gruden, is now the new head coach of the Redskins. Punter Chris Klug says that the Vikings parted ways with him last spring because he was a gay marriage activist. He claims that the special teams coach, Mike Pfeiffer, made anti-gay comments during meetings. I mean, really? I mean, it's football. What do you think? And no one picked him up, but this is his claim that because he was for same-sex marriage. Listen here, people. The NFL is about the bottom line. They'll hire a murderer. Trust me, Aaron Hernandez, if he's found innocent, we'll get another look. That's the business of the NFL. It's what is going to help me win.
A la Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis, Michael Vick, Plexico Burris. So if I'm going to hire those guys, you're telling me because you're okay with same-sex marriage, I'm going to let my punting game suffer?
Des
Think
Bryant
about it.
slapped his mama.
And still gets paid.
And still gets paid. I don't think
He didn't even
there's
get suspended.
I
He
don't
just-
think there's anything worse than slapping your mama.
So please don't try to invoke that. In certain circles, that works, but in a league where all I care about is whether we're going to hold up the trophy, and we'll spin everything else, you know, come on, rapists, and that's what the NFL is about. Criminals, half of them. So you telling me same-sex, you're a bad punter. Nobody picked you up. You're 36, 37 years old. It's tough to accept when it's over. So move on. Also, Colin Kaepernick caught some flack for his hat being turned backwards. I missed this. Do y'all have pictures of this? One reporter told him he needs to turn his hat around. That's Aaron Rodgers. These are just other examples. It's okay. He's not wrong. We have a new intern over here. Valentina's our assistant. Her boyfriend is now over there on the boards. Or he's trying to be. He's just trying to be respectful. Big Kenny's going to get. His name is Kenny. He's Lil Kenny. Got Big Kenny.
I actually got a son named Kenny, so he Lil Kenny.
Lil Kenny. Y'all have other pictures? I don't know. Colin Kaepernick is 25.
He's a grown man.
I mean, no pictures. Yeah, a grown man. He got his hat to the back. reporters, I don't know where these reporters think they are the law of the sports world now. Like everything that an athlete needs to do needs to gain their respect as they are home choking their wives and getting drunk on the plane back to wherever they're from. You're going to criticize and make this a notable story about this kid having his hat turned backwards doing an interview.
And nothing bothers
me. But you ain't say
more.
nothing about RG3
Yeah.
and those braids. If you want to talk something.
And his little girly headband.
That little headband that him and Mark Sanchez wear.
Well, Mark Sanchez is half woman.
Vic Kenny. Oh, hold on, Vic Kenny, don't.
Hey, he the backup.
Seriously, see here.
I ain't finna go to fisticuffs over the backup.
Exactly.
To continue the NFL, just trying to tie up some of the stories. Arthur Blank here in Atlanta says his team needs to get more physical. Basically, he's calling them soft. He's went out and hired some Mike Tice to be the O-line coach. He has Brian Cox, the former linebacker, played about 12, 13 years with the Bears and Dolphins. He's the new D-line coach. Guys with tough attitudes that have played the game. That's what he's brought in here.
Where is this?
Here in Atlanta.
Okay.
So Brian Cox is the new D-line coach.
Oh, my goodness.
And Mike Tice, who at one point played in the league as offensive lineman and was the head coach of the Vikings at one point, he's the new offensive line coach. So Mr. Blank is addressing the physical play.
And he went and got somebody that really believes in physical play on and off the field in Brian Cox.
Before we go to break, our man Jared, who has hopes of playoffs one day for his Raiders, it's been about a decade, is on the line. Jared, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
You still want some of this pain. The Raiders didn't play yesterday.
I told you I'm a sports fan, man. I gotta take those digs from you. I ain't saying nothing about Auburn, man. Come on now.
Hey, well, at least we was in the dance.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah. Don't give me the whatever. We was in the dance. We was there for 59 minutes.
Second place is the first loser. Second place is the first loser. Come on, let's talk about current NFL. Let's talk about the NFL.
Okay, go ahead on.
I want to co-sign you on your prostate exam. I have my first one too this year, and it's no fun. The funny thing is, short story is, my doctor is originally a female. She's hot, and I didn't want her to do it, so I had this male urologist do it. And he tries to make you all the small talk like it's not a big thing. He's like, oh, ask me all the sports stuff. He's like, oh, when you see the games, and what kind of fan are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm a Raider fan. He's like, oh, bend over. You already used to this.
I was about to say he found out.
You take it all the time.
I was about to. If you hadn't said that, Jared, I was going there.
That was your joke.
That was going to. You're a Raiders fan. You used to this. Go ahead, and we're gonna do it rough now.
And you stopped feeling bad when he said that, didn't you?
Yeah, this is like, whatever.
So he can talk. He can bring up the Raiders. He can talk about the Raiders, but I can't bring it up anymore. Okay, I got you.
Well, I say you don't have me bent over like that though.
Jared, he found out you were a Raiders fan. Is like, well, I could just look into it and see your prostate. You've had this done so much.
Jared, real quickly with 2 games.
So yeah, the playoffs. Yes, I think overall the best teams won. This is the first time we have the 4 best teams in the championship games in a long time. But just one, I think you were talking about how the Panthers couldn't match the physicality of the 49ers or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the refs took it out of their hands. They were really, San Francisco was the better team. They should have won. But in the beginning, remember that first drive, they gave them that 15-yard penalty on that BS hit. The ball was still in the air, and they hit. Was it Davis or 81? Was the guy who always Bolden?
Yes.
Remember that first drive? So they gave him the first down to kick a field goal, and then later on they called a 15-yard play on a headbutt where the guy just got up and got in the other guy's face. But then later on, Bolden did the same thing and actually headbutted the guy, and he didn't throw a flag. I mean, it was like the refs were definitely favoring San Francisco in that game as far as all that extracurricular stuff. Because the San Francisco was after every play they jumping up in somebody's face and talking stuff and this and that. And so anytime the Carolina players did, they were getting penalized. So I think it was one-sided on that side.
I heard that, Jared. Thank you for calling in. But I tell you one thing, though. I think you sound like a hater because there's a team from the Bay Area almost to the Super Bowl, and it's not the Raiders. Look at it. See, he couldn't say nothing to that. We'll be back for the Sports Shock Show, 888-926-7562.
Hey, missed some of the show today. Listen to the rebroadcast Fridays, 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on CRN-FM, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and Saturdays, 1 to 4 p.m. Camden, Alabama. It's thesportsc.com.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Ice cold brew. Ooh, that was a heck of a sack.
Chicken wings? Ice cold brews? You know, Bob, he might want to hit the showers and head to Hooters.
Hooters is your one-stop shop for food, fun, and fantasy football.
Get your very own fantasy football draft kit and keep up to the minute stats with Hooters' totally free Wi-Fi.
Great food, great fun, and your very own cheerleaders, the world-famous Hooters girls.
Hooters!
Visit HootersDraftParty.com to book your party.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions,
How high can you jump?
but you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Now, it's time for the scoreboard, where we put a spin on life and sports and how they intermingle. On the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
All you ladies do your duty. Get on the floor and shake that booty. Hey! Say it again. All you ladies do your duty. Get on the floor and shake that booty.
Welcome back to the Sports Shock Show. I'm the Sports Shock, Wayne Gandy. Everything we're doing today is to irritate the good producer. It's time to get him dark. It's time to get him that black Spider-Man uniform, that Spider-Man when he went dark. That's what he needs. Here's that picture for you that we couldn't pull it up. Here's Colin Kaepernick with his hat turned back. Quarterback of the 49ers. This is stylish. He got on the white shirt. He looking stylish after the game. He was about to meet up with Lydia.
One of Guy Rawlings' fraternity brothers in all that red and white.
Look at Lydia over there smiling there when I said that. She was like,
Yeah, you know I do it.
I've been waiting on Colin to come by. You know Colin? Do you know Colin Kaepernick? No, I'm talking about, do you know him personally? Oh, okay. It's okay. You're 21. You know, he's only 25. Y'all fit right there together. We're making love matches to here today. We got Lil Kenny hooking up with Valentina.
Itty bitty.
We're trying to get
No!
He said you'll make the room go dark. That's what he say. I don't know. Y'all aren't getting it. Come on, Ray. Keep up over there, Ray. Keep over, Ray. But we're into college football. A lot of juniors have decided to go pro. No one bigger in college football than Johnny Football. He announced that he's leaving Texas A&M. He's followed by Trey Mason, who was also up for the Heisman. Auburn's running back. Auburn's left tackle Greg Robinson left to go pro. We got a lot of them jumping ship. Some should stay. Some should go. After the national title game, James Franklin now is from Vanderbilt to Penn State. He's the new head coach up there. because O'Brien left to become the head coach of Houston Texans. There's been a lot of jobs, firings and hirings over the last 2 weeks. Also, the cockroach himself, Petrino, is now the head coach back at Louisville. He's gone full circle. In 6 years, he has left Louisville, attempted to get a job with Auburn, got a job with the Falcons, left the Falcons, went to Arkansas, fell off the motorcycle with his mistress, ended up at Western Kentucky as the head coach, and now he's back.
Yeah.
Cockroaches just don't die, Big Kenny. What do you say?
If there were a nuclear disaster, he would survive.
Exactly. Well, also, did you know that Mark Richt announced yesterday that Todd Grantham, he's going to Louisville to be the
They deserve each other. Todd Grantham is a terrible defensive coordinator. So he needs to go out there with Petrino because Petrino don't care about defense.
And they could both ride motorcycles with their mistresses. You know what I mean?
Together, they could hold hands.
Also, who else has been? Charlie Strong, we're going to talk about that in a minute, is not a new head coach of Texas, even though Red McComb really is not happy with that. But last week, Dee McCarron, the mother of A.J. McCarron, took offense to the post-game interview that Jameis Winston had, basically going on to Twitter. I keep telling you people there's nothing really good about social media if you're not a business. Putting out there that listening to Jameis Winston speak after the game, and I quote, "Am I listening to English?" was what she tweeted about the young 19-year-old Heisman champion and college football champion. Let's see Jameis and what he said after the game to see why she would say something that's so harsh about a young kid. We're going to need the volume of this. We're going to have to start over. The whole skit is about the volume. For an hour and a half, I've been waiting for this story about Dee McCarron. I even used her name earlier. I see New Year,
same old. You know we going raw. You could have just said it. Could have just said it.
Well, hopefully we'll get some volume for that. But I don't want to mess that story up. I want to be able to tell it in its fullness. So we'll move on to Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong, who's an African-American man, I like to say black, head coach of Louisville, is now the head coach of Texas. As you know, Texas has the biggest budget, biggest school, considered the biggest football program, along with Michigan and Alabama. First black head coach for Texas. Their biggest booster, Red McComb, really said he wasn't happy with the hire. I don't think he read, when I was reading it, I realized that it sounded like he was saying it because he was black. I think he was saying it because he wanted a bigger name than Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong is a good name. He wanted somebody like John Gruden. He wanted that name that sticks out.
Yeah.
Kind of how I felt like with the hire of Budenholzer with the Hawks. He's turned out to be a good coach, but you just wanted that name that might be able to draw bigger attendance.
Right.
And I when I was reading, because at first I'm like, man, there go that Texas,
mentality.
Racial stuff.
Right.
And then I started realizing he just wanted a big name. He probably would have took Tony Dungy. He just wanted somebody to come in, because in Texas they like to do it super big.
Right.
So I don't think it was so much as it was a color as much as I want a huge name.
And do you think that's part of the way that the media slants the story, is the sound bites are designed to make it sound salacious so that people will want to read the story.
Right.
People will want to tune in and watch you cover this story because already you and your feelings based off of, one of the biggest boosters saying he doesn't like the hire.
Right.
Well,
and it's probably listed, first African-American head coach. Booster says he doesn't like the hire. Oh, racism. So now you start tuning in. But this man is just saying, I wanted somebody with a bigger name.
Well, the media can twist anything into any kind of issue, and race is an easy one in this country because it fires a lot of people up.
Right.
But then they're the first person that wants to criticize you.
Well, of course.
That's what I'm saying. So why do something
It's
that
a
you want to
double-edged
just
sword.
jump on, and then the second paragraph of the article, you read that he was saying that we are Texas. There is no amount of money we couldn't pay to get a huge name.
Yeah.
That was his point, because in his tenure there, he has lined a lot of African American players with money. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, he's been pocketing some money down there. $100 million he's given to the Texas program in his lifetime already. So he just wanted to use that $10 million budget to go get a coach.
Yeah.
Dig up dig up anything big. He just wanted get Mike Ditka down there. He just probably wanted somebody that he could pal around with and tell some old war stories.
Shopping
with. Did y'all have the video of Jameis Winston yet? Okay. First,
does it have sound?
Is me showing the Texas T-shirt gonna interrupt? There we go. This is the shirt that somebody decided black is the new brown. Down in Texas. Texas former coach name was Mack Brown. So I guess that's the reference to the new brown. Black would be the color of Charlie Strong. And these kind of shirts just lets you know that idiots still survive.
And it's a play off of orange is the new black. And everybody's trying to be hip. Everybody wants to be
a comedian.
And please leave it to the professionals. It's not. And when we go to this Jameis Winston story, I'll piggyback that point off of this. Go ahead.
Like I said, Dee McCarron, the mother of Alabama's former quarterback now, A.J. McCarron, who probably be a first or second round pick in the NFL draft, said that when she was listening to Jameis Winston in the post interview, that she didn't know if she was hearing English. Here's that post interview.
Very much, Jameis, with 1:15 to go in this game, final drive. What did you tell your teammates around you?
I said, guys, we didn't come here for no reason. I said, guys, this is ours, man. This is all the adversity we went through. The first few quarters, it was ours to take. And like I've been saying, we control our own destiny. And those men looked me in my eye and they said, we got this, Jameis. And I said, are you strong? They said, I'm strong if you strong. And I said, we strong, man.
After struggling through the first half, what was the biggest adjustment you guys made at halftime?
We had to go back to playing Florida State football. We came out here, we were letting us be bigger than the game. We were bigger than the game. Then we had to say, hey, let's play Florida State football because can't nobody be bigger than this game. And we did that, and we came out victorious.
You had an embrace with your head coach, Jimbo Fisher. You've been through a lot with him this season. What did you guys share in that moment, Jameis?
We champions. We can say that we are champions together. And through everything that we went through all the haters, through every single thing, we came out victorious. And God did this. I'm so blessed. He's so blessed. Like all the stuff that he handled with Ethan, and he come out here and coach us, that touched me. And it's nobody but God. It's nobody.
Ethan being the reference to Jimbo's son, you said it once, you said it 100 times this season. If we're going to do it big, we're going to do it big then. How big is this moment?
It's the biggest. Happy birthday. My cousin in Afghanistan watching this game, Teola Winston. We're doing it for everybody. We're doing it big all over the country, all over the world. And I'm proud. I'm proud to say I'm a Florida State Seminole.
Congratulations, Jake.
Thank you.
Now,
Brent?
Now, listening to that, I don't see anything.
At all. He's a 19-year-old. He's very well-spoken for a 19-year-old who just finished the game of his life.
Yeah, you still see him sweating. Big Kenny, I didn't.
Think about it.
Did you hear anything that made you feel?
No.
I've heard worse 30-year-old NBA, NFL players in a calm environment.
And I don't know if we have enough time for me to get on A.J. McCarron's mama, but my thing is A.J. McCarron needs to let his mother know if you're going to step out there like that. Now, if Jameis Winston comes back and says, trick, get your life, you know what I'm saying, and really goes in on her, he'd be upset.
Right.
Don't step out there like that unless you're willing for somebody to come back at you.
When we come back from break, Mike, hold the line, 888-926-7562. We'll address this Jameis Winston. And we got a lot else coming up in the next hour with our man Sekou Smith and the NBA. We'll be back after this.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
It's
Your busy lifestyle demands performance. Energy drinks and shots can be an acquired taste and can cause jitters, crashes, and even stomach discomfort. The new 8-Hour Energy Patch is the natural, sugar, and calorie-free alternative to energy drinks, shots, and even coffee. It's the only energy that sticks. Just 2 time-release patches will keep you going at work, the gym, or even a night out. No unpleasant taste, jitters, or crashes. For a 12-hour boost, just add another patch. For only 4 hours, use one. You're in charge. Visit 8hourenergy.com for more info and your free sample. Do not exceed 3 patches per day.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Sassy! Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick. That's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy, the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
Enough is enough! I have had it!
Why so serious?
And we hold the world ransom for...
Wayne Gandy.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Show me the...
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy. It is 11 o'clock, so you know what time it is. Butthole can be used at the 11 o'clock hour. Yes, we are tearing down everything that these producers have built up for us because we have found that their way is sinking the ship, and we are ready to swim. Good producer, say something wrong today. Say something over there. That's not saying anything.
He's pretending to swim very badly.
Well, speaking of saying something, as we left for break, Dee Dee McCarron, the mother of quarterback A.J. McCarron, went on Twitter last week saying about Jameis Winston's post-game interview after beating Auburn in the biggest game of his life. I know some of you forget, and let me put this in. Listen, Johnny Manziel has played 2 years of college football. I know you've heard the name so much that you think these people have been around for 50 years. He's only played 2 years. Jameis Winston has only played one season of football. I know how we push names around. It makes it seem like, man, this man should have graduated. He should know how to speak. This means that 24 months ago, he was in somebody's high school class, palling around, trying to learn math. And now his name is bigger than his abilities in a lot of ways. So when you listen to this kid, go back to being 18 and 19. Half of you was shy, putting on pimple cream, hoping nobody noticed. Girl was ashamed of her braces, her teeth were buck. You know, she was still waiting on her breast to grow. I mean, you still have to go back to those times when you're listening to people. And here's a kid who just won the biggest game of his life. And sometimes we want to give kids the responsibility adults. We want to give their name. And if he was 10 years, trust me, I'm the first one looking for something to bash people about. That I wanted to hear that, but I listened to Mike Tyson talk. I don't know what Mike Tyson is a 50-year-old man. I listened to Evander Holyfield talk. They're 50-year-old men. Yes, we can kill them.
They take punches to the head, those sports.
You know, that's what I'm saying.
So,
no, I'm just saying.
Hold on. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? I think that I speak very philistically.
So in those cases, I'm more to jump to, okay. Now, this kid in the same situation next year, he's never been in this situation. He's never won a national title. He just came off his red shirt year. And for you people that's ever went to college, the red shirt year is probably your toughest year because you do a lot of doubting of whether you even have the ability to play at the next level or in the college level. And now you come off of that in the same way that Johnny Manziel became a household name. This kid went from red shirt to David Letterman in 9 months. Some of you have never even been to New York.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how fast he turned. He went from nobody knew him. And I tell people the same thing about Cam Newton. February, this time in 2009, you didn't even know Cam Newton. And now he's selling you products. You know, it goes that fast. So cut him a little slack because your name can grow before a lot of the things you know how to do in life can grow. Now, I don't mean to get off on that tangent. I know Big Kenny and Marky want to weigh in on it. But some of this stuff is silly that people want to sit there and criticize people for. I thought that was very well done for how his age is. And he's sitting there, he's trying to squeeze everybody in that little quick window he has. So he's trying to tell you with his teammates, I'm strong. You strong? Well, I guess we both strong. If you had been in a locker room, you would have got the joke. Just like a family can say 2 words to each other, and if you're not part of the family, you don't know what they're talking about. And that's just how it goes. So, you know, he stuck his uncle or cousin in Afghanistan. He got a lot in that little minute
he really did.
of interview to give people praise, his team, his coach. The Ethan thing, I'm glad that the commentator said it was Jimbo's son because some of us didn't know.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have 10 minutes to explain it. That's why when you go to the pro level, the quarterback and the coaches, they take them to the podium so they don't mess up the interview. That's why Tom always has on that $2,000 sweater and the gel is just right. And it's like, man, did you play today, Tom? Or what's going on? And, you know, Peyton put on that Brooks Brothers suit that looks like he got it from J.C. Penney, but it's Brooks Brothers.
That's because his head's so big. It's hard to make a suit look good when you got a huge head like that.
I mean, did you?
But when we went to break, we had Mike on the line. Mike, are you there? Is Mike still there?
Sports Jock.
Good morning to you, Mike. Happy New Year.
Yes. Happy New Year. Thank you. I had a comment about Charlie, but you're hot and heavy here on this Dee Dee McCarron's mom. I think she's just basically just hating her son in the final 2 college games. He didn't get to ride off in the sunset as they had hoped. And, you know, Brent Musburger, she wasn't in the stands to be the focal point like last year. So she threw something out there. But Sports Jock, my question is, why when they post it and try to delete it, they think they're going to be spared. Like, you know, the next person that follows them is not going to see it and repost it, and that's exactly what happened. The people following her just continued to repost it, and now it became a pretty big deal.
Yeah, when she went to repost, she said something about she wanted to make sure everybody knew that her family was not racist. So, you know, I think they put it out there, and then they hope that they realize, oh, y'all think I'm racist? I need to make up for that now. And she's trying to make sure, let's see what she said, 23,000 followers. She deleted her initial tweet and said she and her family are not racist. That was her comment. Winston's comment on his Twitter page, and I'm just reading, you know, I don't know Twitter like that. For the people that criticize the way that I talk, this is for y'all. FSU are national champs. That is all. Now, that was very poetic.
He busted 16 bars. All right.
So that right there lets you know he's a young kid because he still thinks he needs to rhyme when he's calling somebody out. I would have called her some other stuff, as Big Kenny said, trick, tramp, and some other stuff. But I think, hey, you put yourself out there, so be able to protect yourself. But as you said, Alabama lost their last 2 games. And all the Alabama faithful couldn't wait to tell me about how we lost. And that's just how it goes. But, Mike, that's a good question. You said you had something about Charlie Strong real quick.
Yes. Basically, just how you guys was alluding to about, you know, the media and the power, even when you were discussing it with Todd about the baseball writers. I think that's another prime example of how, you know, it's so hard now to just voice your opinion on almost anything without it being looked at or viewed as racist. And it was to the point that Red McCombs had to come back and apologize because he was like, hey, I didn't mean it that way. It was more so, like you was explaining, hey, he was just looking for a bigger name to come and run a program as large as Texas. So, you know, I just wanted to piggyback on that. That was it.
Well, thank you there, Mike, for calling in.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think that you have to read the article on that because it does come off. They did try to sell you as Red McComb, and Red McComb has owned, I think he owned the Vikings at one point. He owned the Spurs. So he's owned professional sports teams. And I think that he's just in that nature because that's his sport. They want somebody. If he could have hired Phil Jackson to be the football coach, he'd have probably been okay, even though Phil Jackson is a basketball coach. But when you look at, once more time, Big Kenny, anything, last comments on McCarron?
I think that when I heard him speak, and I'm very critical of people in speaking, especially when you're in the public eye, I didn't hear anything that would make me question if it were English or not. Maybe the diction that he uses offended her, but he's Southern, so that's a Southern thing. And for him to be in the limelight, in the heat of the moment like that and do as well as he did, she's sitting at home on her couch with her bum-ass son and managed to still not be able to think clearly enough to be smarter than to send something out like this. So give this man a break. And if you're going to put yourself out there like that, Dee, expect people to come back at you. AJ, don't get mad if people start coming at you because of something stupid that your mama said. Train your mother. Whoever your daddy is, tell him to get his chick in check and make sure that she behaves herself on social media. Bake a cake, Dee. You a mama. Beat it. That's all I'm saying. Go somewhere.
Yeah, it just makes me incredibly upset to see this because the only reason she even has a Twitter account probably is because her son, you know, she thinks that she's, you know, because Brett Musburger and a few others thought she was pretty. I'm sorry, but you're not that pretty and you're not that cool and you need to shut your mouth. Know your role and shut your hole.
Got you. And my last comment.
It just makes me so mad. I'm going to say one more thing because, you know, people, they take social media
Preacher.
I will.
Well.
They take social media, and especially women, they try to act like they're all big and mighty and, you know, use their words as, you know,
amen, there, preacher.
God their witness, and I hate it. Shut your hole. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
And we don't shut that butthole.
Exactly. Shut it. Pie hole.
And then in closing,
shut 'em.
Mothers, fathers, wives, and girlfriends, sit y'all ass down. Y'all are not the stars. I should never know your name. If you wanted to be famous, you should have done something.
Support your son.
We'll be back with more of the Sports Shock Show in just a sec.
Shut your pie hole for Jesus. Don't miss Wayne Gandy's commentary with the Ocean segment later in the show on the sportsjoc.com. The doors of the church are open. Shut your pie hole for Jesus.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a pep talk that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You can improve your future. Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and for free classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey, there's my son.
Hey, Dad.
What's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Well, it's just sort of.
Hello, Dad.
Susan? Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and maybe see some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is a guided meditation on parenting. Take this time to breathe deeply and close your eyes. Right now, you're completely in control. Unlike the time you and your son played basketball and you attempted to slam dunk, or when you tried removing those raccoons from the basement. Concentrate on the soothing sound of my voice. Release the memory of when you wrestled with that beehive in your son's treehouse. Let go of the time you thought that skunk was a cat, or when you pulled into the garage with your son's bike on top of the car. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Center Court. On sports, news, gossip, blah, 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 blah.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy. 888-926-7562. Somebody is trying to get the Sports Jock to leave the air. I smell bacon, 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 bacon. Is it just me? Or did the aroma of bacon come by here? Man.
Are there cops around?
Is anything more drawing than bacon? I mean, bacon draw vegetarians.
I was just about to say, I'm a vegetarian, and I still like the smell of bacon.
I like meat.
That's what I heard.
Get him
Bam. Yeah.
Y'all got to keep up. You got to
The
keep
11
up.
o'clock hour.
It is that 11 o'clock hour. In a minute, we're going to talk about our man D-Rod. We know he like meat.
I'm not alone.
In a second, but we want to hit on some other NBA news and notes. And when that happens, we always like to reach out to our man that owns NBA TV, NBA.com, NBA SOS, NBA TO2, and everything else NBA. Sekou Smith, who I'm starting to see in suits on TV. Sekou, are you there?
Okay, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I've been catching you, brother. Don't think you hide. I see you clean up there like TD Jakes.
Hey, man, once a week, baby, once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm in jeans and sweats. You know how I do it.
The big question is, can you do the nay-nay?
No, I can't do the nay-nay, but I can sure two-step off that jam you had playing when y'all came back to play. I'll two-step you into oblivion. Now, I'll two-step you out with the two-step.
And Sekou, that was a setup. I just need you to know I'm going to put you on notice that any man I catch doing the nay-nay, I'm punching in the chest.
Boom.
Yeah, I saw a kid doing it yesterday at 6th grade basketball game. I'm standing there with my son, and I was like, what is this cat doing? You know, my son's like, you don't know what that is? I said, no. He's like, that's the nay-nay.
That's the
no-no.
And I was like, don't do it.
I was like, they named the dance after Shanae. I'm through with it.
I heard that. Speaking of Shanae, J.R. Smith. Can I put J.R. Smith and Shanae together?
They all kind of in the same little clique. Yeah.
J.R. Smith with the Knicks. All the talent in the world, Sekou. I mean, the man physically is athletic. If he ever had his direction right, he probably would be one of the top 20 players. He might even be considered that now. But when you look at him, what is the Knicks going to do? Is he tradable?
No, well, he's not the most tradable asset right now because of his contract and all the crap that comes along with his attitude and his, performance right now, but he's super talented. I don't know what else they can do. They got to get him to settle down and play consistently, play at a high level. Otherwise, he's useless to them. And teams in the NBA, just like other sports, get trapped by this thing all the time. Wayne, it's talent. I watch the NFL games over the weekend. I watch guys jump up and do everything I try and tell my little youth football players not to do during a football game. They headbutt each other and Superman and all this stuff. It's like, if the pros are doing that, you can imagine what the kids are learning and taking away from these sorts of things. All the gestures after you make a shot, all the silliness untying somebody's shoelaces. I mean, there's a time and place for that stuff. There's a certain decorum you have to have on the court, and I wish these pros would adopt that. Not just talk about it, but be about it, and I think it would make everybody's day much easier.
Now, what do you think went through his mind to reach down and untie somebody's shoes, though? I mean,
not a whole lot. That's just, because I talked to Dwight Howard about it Friday. It started with Dwight. Him playing around untying Dwight's shoes, and Dwight, who's a playful guy, was like, "Hey," he said, "it was no big deal. I thought it was funny." Blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure you did, but when they started handing out $50,000 fines,
yeah.
You wipe some smiles off people's faces now. You gotta be very careful about how you go about your business nowadays. The NBA, ever since the dress code rule came in, man, the league is not having it. It's not about this mess. And that's why you saw such a stiff fine for JR, and you'll see continued fines of that nature for foolishness.
Now, Sekou, because this is the thing, I hear you saying the NBA is not putting up with it, but wasn't the Heat Nets game foolishness with the nicknames? Didn't that overshadow that it was a great game? Them trying to figure out what to call Coltrane and all these people. I mean, that's kind of bush league for a league that is huge now. I mean, they've gotten past the point where they have to use antics like the nickname.
Yeah, I mean, I get accused of being the fun police all the time, man, because I'm a traditionalist. I like my jerseys with your regular last name on the back. I like my movie stars to actually look like movie stars and not be nerd boys and, counterculture, characters. I mean, there's a movement afoot, man, that, everything is acceptable, and that everybody wants to push the limit, be it social media or be it other ways, to try and attract what they think is a certain demographic that appeals, to these sorts of things and vice versa. I don't agree with it. I'm with you. I think the NBA didn't need it, doesn't need to do the nicknames. But the scary thing is the players loved it. The younger, and at my age, and I'm not going to start rattling off digits, but at my age, maybe I'm just getting old and out of touch with what's hip and what's cool. Hey, I can't do the nay-nay. What you want me to tell you?
But Sekou, this is my thing, though. If you're going to do it, I'm quite sure those guys have really other nicknames. Like, first of all, you said that Ray Allen couldn't put Jesus on, but that's the whole. It's Jesus was the nickname, Jesus Shuttlesworth. Now you just want to put Shuttlesworth on it, or one of them might be called Big D Willie. I mean, and then you want him just to go by his initials. So are we going to do the real nickname?
Right.
Or are we going to do imitation?
So we'll endorse foolishness, but only up to a point.
Right. Now, you can't go all the way. This ain't the ABA. You can't go too far.
But see, Sekou, that's the point. If you're not going to have any foolishness, then have zero foolishness, because you can't just have, I want to be Jesus Shuttlesworth, and maybe I'm a Muslim. So I think using the word Jesus is cool. So you know what I mean? I'm like you. I'm a traditionalist, and I think a lot of this foolishness is ridiculous. With the J.R. Smith thing, you said it happened with Dwight Howard earlier, and then it happened a couple more times. When does it become a coaching issue? Should someone on the bench that's a coach had said something to him prior before the NBA had to step in and admonish him?
Yeah, they did. Mike Woodson jumped in first, and Mike Woodson came out and blasted him, and said that, he's got to grow up and the foolishness has to stop, and he's got to stop, doing these things that are detrimental to the team. And that's why the Knicks came out and suspended him first, But again, listen, J.R. Smith is 28 years old, man. We're not talking about a kid. We're not talking about somebody who's fresh in the league. We're talking about a guy who's been around for quite some time, going on a decade. And at some point, you got to start holding these players accountable for their actions, but more so than a coach, an organization, anything else, man. You got to grow up and be a man. You got to grow up, do the right things, be responsible, handle your business, go to work every day and go home. J.R. Smith is one of a handful of problems. It's not like every guy in the league is doing the same stuff, but as a group, they have to be accountable to each other and to themselves to do the right things.
Now, speaking of J.R. Smith, and I asked you about the trade, do you see any big name being traded here in the next 4 to 6 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you still consider Pau Gasol a big name, Wayne, he's definitely a guy that could get moved here. It's just a matter of them figuring out the Lakers, figuring out where they can send him and what they can get for him, because that, as the old saying goes, that ship be sinking. I mean, the Lakers.
That is an old saying too. That ship be sinking.
The Lakers are not headed to the playoffs or to the championship, as so many of their fans thought. I mean, they're in a deep hole. Even getting Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash back is not going to fix it. And with Powell's salary number right at $19 million, a little bit over, that's some serious relief for a Lakers team that's going to need everything they can get come the summer. So, yeah, I think Powell, first and foremost, is a guy you can see getting moved.
Last question before I let you go is 2 parts. First, did you agree with Chicago pushing Luol Deng, trading him over to Cleveland? And second, where is Andrew Bynum going to land?
Yeah, I mean, you almost had to trade Luol if he didn't want to take an extension from the Bulls. There was going to be no way they'd be able to renegotiate with him and offer more than what they offered. So you had to make a move and trade him. And it's been talked about for quite some time. As far as Bynum is concerned, these 8 teams out there who are supposed to be interested in Andrew Bynum, I want to check the pulses and temperatures and all the vitals of the 8 GMs of these teams who are trying to get Andrew Bynum on their roster, because I've never seen a guy do a better job of advertising the fact that he is not interested in being an elite player than Andrew Bynum has in the last few years. From the injuries to his attitude, to his Clarence Williams III hairdo, to all the off-the-court transgressions. There's no way I'd want this dude on my team. I don't care how big and strong and talented he might be. He has a track record of not giving you his best. And I don't want to add him to my mix right now at any price. Not at the bargain basement price you're probably going to give him, because usually in the NBA, you get what you pay for.
I heard that. Do you think, real quick, do you see him back, yes or no, back with the Lakers?
That's a good chance it could happen. I mean, they're going to have room to get him, too, if they trade Powell. But, they need to remember what he did for them, which is not a whole lot, not a lot, when they did have their hands on him.
Well, Sekou Smith, NBA TV, and good luck and safe travel over to London, man. I know you're probably headed over there to hang out and kick it with the Royals?
Nah, man. The only British thing I'm gonna be doing recently, anytime soon, is drinking tea, man. I ain't gonna know that. I might go find AJ McCarron's mom and have some tea with her.
Thank you, Sekou Smith. We'll be back right after this. 888-926-7562. More of the Sports Jock Show.
Don't miss the show in 2014. Get the Sports Jock wake-up call at 9 a.m. Sign up at thesportsjoc.com.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Me, a cat, moving in with a new human. It took a little getting used to. She has these weird games she likes to play, like this giant feather. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. It's almost like she thinks I enjoy it. But seeing how much fun she gets out of it, well, I guess it makes it all worth it. Humans.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions,
How high can you jump?
but you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey, girl. School zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Go shorty, it's your birthday. Go shorty, it's your birthday. I know that somebody birthday right now, right now, right now, right now.
I see you over there, Massengill, pointing at me. I keep messing that name up. It's Massengill, not Massengill. Or maybe I'm actually saying it and want you to change it. I think it'd be more impactful to just say Massengill.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah, you know, coming to the stage on the ones and twos, DJ Massengill. See how that is? Yeah, there we go. Welcome back to the show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. Thank our man Sekou Smith for calling in. NBA, he's probably going to NBA.com and NBA TV. He'll be in London. Free ticket to London. Who gives that up? He'll be right over there with tea and crumpets. What is a crumpet anyway?
It's like a biscuit.
It's a bit of it's a bit of pastry.
It's dry, it's tasteless, and it's gross.
Is it
And
like-
that's why you have to dip it in something.
Is it in the scone family?
No, it's in the biscuit family. It's like a hard biscuit that you could throw against a wall and it would break. Maybe. That's
Sounds delicious. I mean, it was just.
The English are known for their food, so we're just going to throw that out there.
One of the things, yes, is it in the Scrumpet family? Is it a biscuit, whatever? They call, like, biscuit is a blanket term.
Like
so,
a
like,
cookie,
any cookie, any type of cookie, any crackers, they consider it a biscuit. They call dessert pudding. So, after you have dinner at a restaurant, they come up and they go, "Would you have any pudding?" And I'm
but
like,
also they have pudding that has meat in it. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I'm saying so. I'm like, no, I don't want any pudding, but that cheesecake looks delicious. And they go, so you do want pudding? And I'm like, no. I said I want a cheesecake, but it's time for
want you
dessert.
to be putting it in your mouth.
I mean, you got to keep up, man. Just keep up.
Marky says, "Oh, habits die hard."
Just saying.
Keep
I
up.
am female.
Yeah.
Moving on into the show, we were in the NBA, and Big Kenny brought to me about James Harden, the shooting guard for the Houston Rockets, paying or first date costing $100,000. Is that correct?
$100,000 for Malaya Michelle
To take her on a date, or that's what the date cost?
Well, he asked her to go out with him. She refused, and so he
Coughed up some money.
coughed up $100,000 to go out on a date.
Now, for those of you who don't know, she is a stripper. And isn't it Miami?
Look, I don't know.
Okay, guess in Miami.
I'm a
Pretty
player.
sure that's where it is.
I'm a real player. I ain't never paid for it.
The Dade, Broward County area of Florida.
Exactly. Florida. And so she likes to ride to get her flow on. So I have a picture of her that I found in case you didn't know what she looked like.
Yeah, before I get that picture, though.
Or not.
See, this show always, they just don't want to wait on cues around here. What would y'all like to show?
Booty, 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 booty. Rock
Show what y'all like to show, and then tell me what to talk about.
You're dealing
Now they don't have nothing to say. What, I mean, you know, that's what you want to see? So when, when Valentina tried to do that earlier,
he was scared. You was all in your feelings and all those. Oh, but I don't know. I want to get to know her better.
But that's really what you want right there. It's okay.
And look, Valentina's looking like I could do that.
That's what Tiger Woods wants to.
I mean, hello.
Now this lady's name has come up in a song, as I told you earlier.
Yep.
One of the Drake songs, maybe a year ago, where he's had this to say about her.
They got my credit cards and a lot of ones, yeah. I'm in the city of the purple Sprite. Someone tell Malaya I'm on fire, she should work tonight. Call up King of Diamonds.
So, at least in that song, she was working at the King of Diamonds.
Yep.
If you're ever in the Florida area, right now 95 South, to your right, as you pass the TGI Fridays. No, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
Exit 19.
A quarter block down.
I'm just messing with you, Mama.
Valet.
I don't know where that's at, Mama. I'm just messing with him. Somewhere. He said something about the King of Diamonds.
So, yeah.
I'm apologizing to my Mama Ray. I don't want her to think I actually know where. Gum? What's wrong with him?
I don't
hear.
know. Okay, so funny story though.
Put the picture of Malaya up first.
Yeah,
No,
put the picture up.
The cat's out the bag now, little Kenny.
Oh my God.
That's what you like right there. Before I let Marky talk, raise your hand if you're a male in here, and
because everybody can see that.
Raise your hand if you're a male. Now raise your hand. Leave your hand up if you would pay $100,000 to be with Malaya.
And all the hands went
One
down.
more time. Raise your hand if you're a male. How much of you would pay $10,000 to be with Malaya?
And all the hands went down.
Y'all ain't giving Malaya no love. She on fire.
And that's why she ain't giving her no money.
That sounds like a problem.
That's the problem. You might need to bring me a medical release form before.
So we're going to see what James Harden does with this as the NBA season goes on. But Malaya is on fire, and I don't know if she still works at the King of Diamonds.
No, James Harden got her to retire after giving her $100,000.
Retire after the fire? Yeah.
Real quickly, go ahead.
So my roommate was in Miami for New Year's, and Drake was down there. And just to give you an idea how much money was spent down there during New Year's, one table, one night, $500,000.
Where at?
It was at starts with an S. I forget where it was. She went to like 5 different
strip club.
Exactly. No, it was at I'll have to look it up. But yeah, one night.
$500,000, the tables.
$500,000 for one of the tables.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go work down there one night and get the tip. That's all I'm saying.
And the people at this table were probably just, what, regular Miami ballers?
Yeah, well, no, they were like 22 and 27 years old from Australia.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, they got Australian.
So we've got Australia.
That money from down under.
Now,
it's
when
it's an Outback on every corner.
Now, when you convert $500,000 Australian to American money, that's about $53.35. So, you know, they throw it away like that.
Well, I hope they met up Malaya that night for $500,000.
Listen.
Seriously.
I'm sorry. I'm a 8-ball in MJG philosophy. Real dogs don't pay for cat. That's just out of my realm of understanding. The fact that I'm rich like that is your incentive to date me. Right. For me to pay you is for me to trick off, and even if you got it, it's still tricking. Lil Wayne confused them with it ain't tricking if you got it. That is a falsehood. Even if you got it, it's tricking. You just don't miss it.
You know, this is, all this stuff with these young athletes and music people is ego.
Yeah.
Everything is ego. It's just like Deshaun Jackson having $250,000 in his house.
Or A-Rod trying to say he's innocent.
That's why he got robbed, because he had shared that.
And
you don't keep $250,000 in your house.
Exactly.
Without the ego to need to share with people. I keep $250,000
and I'm sure he lives in the type of house that you don't just know exactly where he keeps it unless he's told you where it is. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to have time to ransack a house that size looking for the money unless you know exactly where the money is.
Yeah. It's not in a safe. I can almost guarantee you that.
Real quickly, Dennis Rodman, heavy in the news over in North Korea. Birthday game for Kim Jong-un. I like to mess his name up, Ray. Look at Ray like, who is that? That's his uncle that's dead's brother's cousin.
That he fed the dog. Yeah.
But his birthday was last week. Dennis Rodman and some of the former players of the NBA, Charles Smith, Kenny Anderson, and a couple other guys went over to play the game. Dennis sung Happy Birthday when he came out. Do y'all have that on video? No happy birthday song. What do y'all have over there? Show me something and then I'll talk about it.
Oh, wait, here. I got something from 19 minutes
Y'all have what over there?
We have him training in North
Okay, there he is. That's Dennis over there training. He's training.
Footage from North Korea's state news agency, KCNA, show current North Korean and former US basketball players shooting hoops. The ball game marks Rodman's 4th trip to Pyongyang, where he and his team of retired players will hold games for Kim's birthday, which is believed to fall on January the 8th, although it's never officially been confirmed. It's also believed he's 31 years old, but that hasn't been confirmed either.
So that is
on previous visits
at practice. Dennis also went on CNN where he had an outburst, and as he did, put his foot in his mouth. Let's hear Dennis on CNN.
Many times we've seen it demonstrated for whatever reason. Are you going to take an opportunity, if you get it, to speak up for the family of Kenneth Bay and to say, let us know why this man is being held, that this is wrong, that he is sick? If you can help Dennis, will you take the opportunity?
Watch this. The one thing about politics, Kenneth Bay did one thing. If you understand, I got it. If you understand what Kenneth Bay did, do you understand what he did?
What did he do? You tell me.
Country.
You tell me. What did he do?
And no. You tell me. You tell me. Why is he held captive?
They haven't released any charges. They haven't released. They haven't released any reason.
Let me do this. I would love to speak on this.
Go ahead.
You know, you got 10 guys here. 10 guys here that have left their families, left their damn families to help this country as a sports venture. Got 10 guys, all these guys here. Do anyone understand that?
We do, and we appreciate that, and we wish them well with cultural exchange.
No. I'm just saying, no, I don't give a I'm gonna ask what the hell you think. I'm saying to you, look at these guys here. Look at them.
Yeah, but Dennis, don't put it on them. Don't use them as an excuse for the behavior that you're putting on yourself.
They came here.
You just basically were saying that Kenneth Bay did something wrong. We don't even know what the charges are. Don't you?
Don't get so lost in the program that you don't pay attention to me, please. Okay? All right.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Me, a cat, moving in with a new human. It took a little getting used to. She has these weird games she likes to play, like this giant feather. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. It's almost like she thinks I enjoy it. But seeing how much fun she gets out of it, well, I guess it makes it all worth it. Humans.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, over here.
What?
Right here in the back.
Where?
Over by the fence.
You? The bike?
Yeah, the bike. Right in the grass where the kids left me a while ago. You know how lonely it is being left day after day, not being able to cruise the reservation?
Pardon me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You told them, no, you kids go have fun, enjoy the outdoors, and be careful.
Yeah?
I really miss it, especially when they put that playing card in my spokes, and I made a really cool sound the faster we went. Well, could you get my tires a little air, dust off my seat, and remind the kids how fun I still am?
Okay. Oh, you are dusty.
Yeah, and I may need a couple of bolts tightened, too. Now let's go.
As Native American parents and caregivers, our encouragement to healthy lifestyles for our kids is helping them get outside and play. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov/Indian Country. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
It's not always easy being a dad.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
What? What do you mean she's not coming?
But it's always worth it.
It's the fairy princess!
It is I, Grooves Zinkelpel.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. As we left, we were talking about Dennis Rodman. We showed you video of him over in North Korea practicing with the North Korean team. We also showed you some video of him being on CNN. Sorry about that, Jameis Winston. I messed up. You got to keep up, man. You got to keep up. Or should I be apologizing to Dee Dee?
Yeah, really.
No, you know I got for Dee Dee.
A throat punch. Can I throat punch her?
But let's catch that last little bit. catch that last little bit of Dennis Rodman talking on CNN. This is just.
They haven't released any charges.
Classic.
They haven't released any reasons.
Let me do this. I would love to speak on this.
Go ahead.
You know, you got 10 guys here. 10 guys here that have left their families, left their damn families to help this country as a sports venture. Got 10 guys, all these guys here. Do anyone understand that?
We do, and we appreciate that, and we wish them well with cultural exchange.
No. I'm just saying, no, I don't give a what the, I don't give a rat's ass what the hell you think. I'm saying to you, look at these guys here. Look at them.
Yeah, but Dennis, don't put it on them. Don't use them as an excuse for the behavior that you're putting on yourself.
They came here.
You just basically were saying that Kenneth Bay did something wrong. We don't even know what the charges are. Don't use these guys as a shield for you, Dennis.
Listen. Ain't no shield. I got it. Let me do this. Really, I'm gonna tell you one thing. People around the world, I'm gonna do one thing. You guy behind the mic right now, we are the guys here doing one thing. We have to go back to America and take the abuse. Do you have to take the abuse? Well, we're gonna take it. Do you, sir? Let me know. Are you gonna take that abuse? We're gonna get it. But guess what, Joe? One day, this door is gonna open.
With controversy and debate back home in the U.S.
That is Dennis Rodman on CNN. One day. Now,
One day he will
I don't know if he knows that Kim is going to send a nuclear bomb, but one day, Vic Kenny.
Let me tell you something, brother. Anytime that Kim Jong-il invites us to play basketball, yeah, we're going to pull out the pythons, brother.
You guys have the picture?
He sounds like he was trying to invoke the spirit of Hulk Hogan. And then after all of this ranting, they missed the part where he starts naming them all. He goes, "There's 10 guys here. There's Kenny and then he doesn't know the rest of them. And he goes, "There's Kenny and there's Charles and there's 10 of us, me." And he didn't even know his own name. And then, after everything was over, he apologizes and drops the bomb and says, "I had been drinking." No. Ooh,
that was an apology.
Really? Right. Like, I couldn't tell that you were under the influence. and drinking he just said drinking because to say I was on a lot of prescription drugs would have made it seem like way just too outrageous.
Now, in this interview, I understood the words were English, but I could not understand the connection of where he was going.
There wasn't a connection. That's what drinking does.
He threatened the man for asking basic questions. Yep. He never really answered any question. And all he had was questions. You know, do you understand what Kenneth Bay did in this country?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
No, because they haven't actually released any charges, so I wouldn't know.
But what really tripped Dennis up is when he said, I would love to comment on this, and the guy said, "Go ahead." Dennis was like, you don't know what's going on. He went all Kanye on him. You don't have the answers.
And Charles Smith.
You don't have the answers, Sway.
Charles Smith to his right, who used to play for the Knicks, was trying to calm him down.
Well, Charles Smith was sitting there like, Jesus, be a fence. Just be a fence all around me right now to protect me from what is going on right here.
Now, reports are that Dennis says that he did not get paid anything for this. Whether that's true or not, none of us will ever know. But interesting what might come out of this. This did happen last Wednesday. The game was Wednesday, January the 8th. So one day, as Dennis said, one day.
Soon and very soon.
Just so we can tie up some of the show, we did have some birthdays that we missed. Outkast. Any of y'all are Outkast fans? They're reuniting.
Yep.
The musical
group Coachella. I think we ought to do a live broadcast from Coachella.
Volunteer.
The day that
Right here.
I'm talking about the whole staff.
No bad prediction.
Oh, I thought you meant about me.
What, you go?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you going to be there anyway. I'm saying take us.
Bring a friend.
We all go and we just do a
I'm
live
ready to
broadcast
carry
on the
stuff.
day
What day
the
is that?
ATL's finest is going to be there.
What day is that?
It don't matter.
Have they released the date?
There's 2 different days. There's 2 different weekends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We go
You
the
got
weekend that they there.
Got you. But they are reuniting for you fans of Outkast. I know I played them before a lot of games to get in the mood to play. Some birthdays: Nicolas Cage, 50 years old. Blue Ivy Carter, 2.
It's the Rock.
Katie Couric, 57. Bart Starr, the great Green Bay Packer, 80. Michael Beasley of the Heat, 25. Dick Enberg, the announcer, 79. George Foreman, 65. George Foreman, 65. You know, it's like 10 of them. No, it's just messing. Rob Zombie, 49. Rush Limbaugh,
That's
63. It? Rob Zombie. I thought that was kind of funny, too. Because Rob Zombie was like 40 when I first heard of his name 30 years ago.
30 years ago. But he made a deal with the devil.
Look how Ray's looking.
So,
oh, he made a deal with the devil?
he made a deal with the devil to not age for 30 years.
Oh, Jason Giambi, 43. Kate Middleton, 32. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, formerly 36. Rod Stewart, 69. Felix Trinidad, 41. Mary J. Blige, 43. Our man Dominique Wilkins had a birthday Saturday. He's 54 years old. Nick Mangold, 30. Josh Freeman, formerly of the Bucks, currently with the Vikings, 26. Howard Stern, 60. I thought Howard Stern was a little older than that, too. Jake Del Home, 39. Dave Matthews, 47. Rachel Nichols, 34. David Bowie, 67. And the great Stephen Hawking, 72. And the nasty man himself, R. Kelly, 47 years old.
What does his sheet smell like?
Y'all are funny. Jerry Sandusky is trying to get his pension restored. They cut his pension off back in 2012. Neither he or his wife are benefiting from his pension. He's claiming that the charges that they charged him with was after he was already fired, and he was just a consultant when the years that they claimed that he raped. That is his case. He was receiving $4,900 a month. So he's saying that in the 2001 time period, he was just a consultant for the team. He was not an actual employee of Penn State. And that is why he wants his money back. One of the Steubenville boys have been released. Malik Richmond, he was released last week as well. I remember the case of the rape of the 16-year-old. Trent Mays, the other kid that videotaped it, he is still in jail. He got 2 years. Malik only did 1 year, and he only had to serve 10 months of that year. So he is out. For you people who thought that was an injustice, did we hit everything today?
Hold on. Let me address something. I got this. Jerry Sandusky. Jerry Sandusky wants his pension back, but do you know actually what Jerry Sandusky did? Do you know what he did?
No,
I'm asking you.
The paper hadn't been released.
See, that's nobody pays attention to the fact that these boys were raped. These boys were the ones who were raped, and you're just sitting there behind your microphone. You're just sitting there. Are you gonna have to be the one to come back and deal with this?
Well, Dennis, explain to us.
I would love to speak on this. I would love to speak on this.
Explain. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. No one understands. You're missing my point.
What is your point?
Look, I left my family.
I thought your family disowned you.
Okay, I was drunk. I'm sorry, I was drunk. I didn't mean to have this outburst, Sports Jock. I've been drinking real heavy.
Oh,
and,
throw that in the ocean, Ray. I'm going to go ahead on it. There you go. That is our ocean segment.
Walk the plank.
You didn't start talking. You couldn't understand nothing he said. I mean, that was classic Dennis Rodman. Where would we be in the media world without Dennis Rodman, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, and these guys, man? They just keep it coming. You have a great year. We're going to be here next Monday live. I don't know what is that right there, that sign. Oh, okay. Other useless information for the show. We will be back next Monday live. Have a great Monday and a great week. Peace.